The big question that everyone wants to know, can England get the second star on the shirt? And that's what we're going to touch on today. So welcome everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Blue Gaffer FC, our third video on the channel. We are going to go straight into it. But first, before we even do, if you're watching this video, comment your thoughts below. Something as simple as yes or no. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Is this England's year? Is this 1966 all over again? 2026, maybe the 6 at the end means something. Is it the Thomas Tuchel England era? What I'm about to show you is what would be my starting 11 if I was the England national team head coach. Okay, not the predicted starting 11. I've not even looked at what that is, although I'm hearing Tino Livramento is out. The game is tomorrow. When you're watching this, the game is exactly in 24 hours time. So I'm sure both myself and you can come back to this video in 24 hours and maybe everything will be right or everything will be wrong. I know for sure, had I filmed the video about Spain yesterday and seen their performance and their results and what I predicted for Spain, it would have been definitely a wrong prediction, which shows this World Cup you have to be very objective, no bias, because so many things can happen. So let's go straight into it. Can England win it? Well, if I was the England manager, this would be my starting 11. Jordan Pickford in goal, John Stones, Mark Guehi, Reece James right back, Nico O'Reilly left back. I'd have a midfield three, Bellingham, Rice, and Eze. How would I play that midfield three? I'd probably play Rice as the deepest and Bellingham and Eze above him, so it would be a 1-2 sort of in the midfield, a little triangle shape in a 1-2 shape, most likely. Rashford, right wing, Saka left wing, Harry Kane striker. Why have I left out, you might say, some players like, for example, Anthony Gordon? I think Rashford's better, and I think Saka are better. It's that simple. Why have I left out Madueke? Well, I've never been a fan of him. Harry Kane is obvious. I think Rice is obvious. James is obvious. Pickford's obvious. Nico O'Reilly's obvious. John Stones is one where you could argue. But again, if I was the England manager, I would have called up Cole Palmer, Harry Maguire, and Levi Colwill, so this squad would have been different. However, I've tried to go a little bit how Thomas Tuchel has selected it and what his mindset might be. Now, one thing I will add, the picture shows a 4-3-3 or 4-1-2-3 or 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to call it. I do believe there is a slight chance that England will play a back three, back five at this tournament, possibly even tomorrow in the first game against Croatia. I would not be surprised if we see Stones, Guehi, and Konza as a back three. Nico O'Reilly is left wing back, Reece James is right wing back, Rice, Bellingham, and Eze or someone else in the midfield, and Kane and Rashford possibly up top, or Kane and Saka possibly up top, or even Nico O'Reilly drops to the bench and Saka plays left wing back because he's done that for Arsenal before. So I would not be surprised if Thomas Tuchel decides to go over three at the back. Why? Well, because he played that at Chelsea and he was very successful with it, and he knows this system very well. And a lot of these players he's worked with in the past. He's worked with Harry Kane. He's worked with Reece James. And I'm sure there's other players in here that I can't remember off the top of my head that Thomas has worked with before. Now he's a top manager, and Southgate ball is finished. However, this is where I have to warn the English fans, and I have to warn football fans in general. You don't always get what you wish for, because a lot of people criticize Gareth Southgate, but let me remind everyone what was England like before Gareth Southgate. 2010 World Cup exit round of 16 in a humiliating manner to Germany, and a group performance that was very lucky to progress under Capello. Euro 2012, Euro 2016. England are eliminated by Iceland. World Cup 2014, a group stage exit for England. Gareth Southgate arrives, right? 2018, 2020, 21 technically because of the COVID, and 2022 and 2026. Well, now it's Tuchel. But my point is, since that time, what's changed in England? Well, he got them to a final, narrowly losing to Spain. He got them to a semi-final. And he got them to, was it a quarter-final? Or was it two semis and a final? I don't remember the exact numbers. But the point is, he's done historically better than any manager in England's past, apart from the 1966 when they won it. And he was this far away. Now, I agree, at the last Euros when England lost to Spain, and everyone watching that, I think it's very fair to admit, and also at World Cup 2022, probably most recently, England weren't at their best. And that was noticeable with Cole Palmer being the deciding factor. Sorry, this is Euro 2024 I'm talking about. And the key moments that made him that key factor for England. However, I still think be careful what you wish for, because Gareth Southgate leaving could have a detrimental effect. Everything's brand new. You don't know what's going to happen. And football is like this. If you get moments wrong, moments is what decide a football match. Yeah? You'll see a lot of these YouTubers and a lot of people giving you content. Well, unless they're actually coaches or experts in the field, they don't understand what moments mean. What do I mean by moments? I mean you can play as well as you want, but you don't put the ball in the back of the net. Spain yesterday. You can play as well as you want, but the opposition get a lucky penalty, a corner, a chance to score, and then they park the bus and they beat you 1-0. Moments in the game decide everything. Pickford makes an outstanding save. Harry Kane scores a great goal. Moments is what decides everything. How do you get these moments? There's a few different ways. Firstly, you must control possession. Because if you control possession, you limit the amount of moments the other team has. Basic maths, right? Secondly, you need your big players to step up and they need to be clinical, both defensively and offensively. That's what you need, those two things. And the third thing is you need momentum. So it doesn't matter, minute 1, minute 60, minute 90. You must keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And that's what I'm looking at England. If we want a World Cup in this country, do we have the moments to deliver that? Or do we just have, like we've always had, a great team, some fantastic coaches, but we don't have the moments in a World Cup to go all the way? We don't have a Mario Götze moment in a final. We don't have an Andreas Iniesta moment in the final. But we had Cole Palmer moments and he's not in the squad. And we have a fantastic young centre-back, Levi Colwill, and he's not in the squad. And we have someone experienced in tournaments, Harry Maguire, and he's not in the squad. So I look at this England team and I'm thinking to myself, this is not the best England team that I've ever seen. Because I think when I was growing up, the 2010 England squad was much better. Rooney, Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, Heskey, Defoe, Kyle Walker, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand. Those were the golden generation of English players, and they never did it. But hopefully this team will do it. I think they can. Because let's talk about this now. England's road to the final. So I designed the graphic, but I got this off again, Opta Analysis, like I did with the France team. England's objective in this group is very, very simple. Now, I've just realised Senegal's in there instead of Ghana. I do apologise. That is an error, quite obviously. I think it's very, very clear. England must win this group. There's no if, buts, or maybes. They have to target first place. Now, what will that mean? Well, most likely they're going to play a team that's in third place, right? And I do believe that if they get third place, this is where I put Senegal in because I got confused. I was thinking about the round of 32 of France, Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. And England against Norway is most likely the game because I think France win the group. I think Senegal will sneak into second, and I think Norway will be third. And if England get Norway, I think they have more than enough quality to win. The round of 16, everyone's saying, is most likely going to be Mexico from what I'm hearing. Again, I think England have more than enough to win. And then we have the quarterfinal. And we have England against Portugal. Okay? And again, I look at this. And I think England have got just enough. Just enough. And it's going to be bye-bye to Cristiano Ronaldo. Because I think England are going to go further. Maybe it's on penalties. Maybe it's in extra time. But I truly see England winning that. Semi-final possibly against Brazil, although I wouldn't be surprised if it's not Brazil, if it's a Netherlands, if it's a Japan, one of those sorts of teams, because I watched Brazil against Morocco, I wasn't happy, but I'm going to stick with what I originally predicted. This is all still coming back from my original prediction video, apart from the graphical error that I made on the screen. I do apologise. Again, I think England have enough to win that game. And then they progress to the big final. And this is where, if you've seen my France predictions video, for me, France win the World Cup. And it was great, by the way, that we had some engagement in the comments on that. And a lot of people saying, no, they're not going to win the World Cup. Mbappe's going to ruin it. But here's the thing that people don't realise. Mbappe's going to ruin it. The media have told you that. Or have you been in the France national team camp and you know that? So, oh, Dembele said something. Okay, what did he say? When did he say it? How did he say it? So there's a lot of stuff we hear in the media, but I can tell you from a coach's perspective, it's not even possible that a player can ruin a World Cup because a World Cup is bigger than one individual player. And actually, Mbappe did the opposite of the last one. He almost guided France to a World Cup himself. So players can give moments, they don't take them away. They never take them away. You can call them unlucky, they can miss chances, but they don't deliberately take them away. What you think Kylian Mbappe, one of the best players in this generation, is deliberately going to the World Cup in America to screw France's chances? I mean, that's a ridiculous accusation to make. And what evidence do you have to back that up? I promise you, Didier Deschamps, the experienced manager of the years, all the tournaments that he's done with France, the things he's won both in his playing and coaching career, he knows exactly how to manage Dembele, Mbappe, Elise. Yeah, all of these big name players. And I think Turkey, who I didn't mention either, and I think they are going to win this World Cup because, in my opinion, they have the best depth, 2 players for every position, the experience, and the quality to win the World Cup that England don't have. And we saw that because last time they played each other, France knocked them out. Okay, it was very, very close and it was a good game, and Kane missed a penalty, and etc., etc. But very, very obviously, it's really, really simple, and the evidence backs up that France are better. And I hate that because this video is meant to be about England, and we're meant to be celebrating exactly this. Can England win it? And I want them to. And I want England to have a second star on the shirt, but I don't see it happening. I think England are going to get very, very close, and I do think they are going to get far under Thomas Tuchel. And most importantly, I think we're going to see a much better perform in England. I think it's going to be a much, much better performance from England. But I don't think they have enough to successfully say, we're going to win the game. I don't think that's possible. But football is football, and we all have to wait and see. But that's just my opinion. So, with that said, let me know your thoughts. Can England bring it home? Can they win the 2026 World Cup? If you look at that graphic, Harry Kane, Saka, Bellingham. I wish I was the actual manager of England on the left. That is the suit I'd wear, by the way. But they've got Thomas Tuchel, who's much better than me. Let's wait and see. I'm looking forward to the game against Croatia tomorrow. Comment, like, subscribe, and welcome to the Blue Gaffer FC.